Good morning, boys and girls. Hey, wasn't it great yesterday getting to spend time with each other and seeing each other? I cannot believe how much you all have grown. It's been several weeks, and so oh my goodness, couldn't get over it. I hope that you had a good time getting to see your friends and getting to visit for just a little bit. And I know not everybody could be there yesterday. I understand that. And we sure did miss you, but I promise that we will be getting together before the summer, at least for some kind of a picnic or party or something, so that we can see each other after school and before the summer starts. So anyway, just wanted to say thank you for coming. Thank you for all of your cards and your posters and your drawings. They were wonderful. I came home and showed them to Mr. McGuire and to my son Will, and we had a good time looking at all of them and getting to talk, and showed them some of the pictures that we took on the with my phone, my new phone. And so anyway, it was a good day yesterday, and so glad to see you. But we still have one more week of school, so we're going to work today, and then tomorrow my plan is to try and Zoom again. I'm going to do my best, and I'll send a message out to Mom and Dad, and we'll try that. So let's go ahead and get started, and then next week we'll do some more things at the end. So, all right, there's our flag. You know what that means. Let's stand for our pledge. Your right hand over your heart. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Well, one of the things that I noticed, and some of you have shared with me, was that some of you have begun to lose a tooth or two. So guess what I found? I found a poem about your tooth. So I'm going to show you a picture. Here, look at this little girl. She has lost a tooth. So let's hear our poem about this tooth. I jiggled it, I jaggled it, I jerked it. I pushed it and pulled it and poked it. But as soon as I stopped and left it alone, this tooth came out on its very own. Yep, eventually they're going to come out, but you have to take good care of those new ones because you don't get another set after these. So take care of your new teeth. I'm so proud of you. Some of you are getting your new teeth in. So, well, let's go ahead with our Bible story. And if you'll remember yesterday, it was about a brother and a sister, Karen and Cody, and their dad had given them a job to do, to go and plant some pumpkin seeds down in the lower field. But they already had plans. What were they planning on doing? That's right, they were going to go fishing. They dug up the worms, they had their poles, they had a lunch, and they were kind of upset that they had to go and do a chore, a job first, plant those pumpkin seeds. But they couldn't wait, could they, to go fishing. They hid the pumpkin seeds in an old tree stump, and they thought for sure they'd be back the next day and they would plant those seeds. But what happened? At the end of yesterday, it had rained the next day and the next, and so for the next 3 days, rain. And by the time it had stopped raining, they had forgotten all about those pumpkin seeds. So our story picks up today. Karen is at home. She's learning her Bible verse for school. And so she's going over it and over it and over it. And then all of a sudden, she realizes that Bible verse is trying to tell her something. You know, sometimes that's how God talks to us, is by reading His Word, by reading the Bible. This was the Bible verse. Be sure your sin will find you out. That means eventually the truth is going to come out. And Karen thought, oh no, the pumpkin seeds. We forgot all about those pumpkin seeds. And her dad, she said, Daddy is sure to find out. And that night, oh, she couldn't sleep. She just tossed and turned and kept thinking about that Bible verse, and she kept thinking about the pumpkin seeds. It really, really upset her, and she decided, tomorrow I have got to tell the truth. We've got to tell Dad what we did. So there she is, studying her Bible verse. Well, that morning, she talked to her brother Cody, and she said, listen, we did wrong and we need to tell the truth about it. And so Cody, he finally agreed that was the right thing to do. So after lunch, because their dad was already gone in the morning when they got up, after lunch, they were going to talk to their father. And so he said, all right, we'll tell Dad. They knew they probably would get in trouble, but they knew that it was the right thing to do. So they had lunch, and before they could say anything to their dad, he made an announcement for the family. He said, you know what? I've decided that Cody and Karen, for all the pumpkins they have, I'm going to let them sell them at our little stand, our little market stand, and they can get 50 cents for every pumpkin they sell. Well, they thought about that bag full of pumpkin seeds, and 50 cents a pumpkin, that would surely add up, wouldn't it? 50 cents plus 50 cents plus for all those pumpkins. And they realize now they wouldn't have anything, because why? They didn't plant the pumpkin seeds. And so they went and they followed their dad out of the room and said, Dad, we have something we have to tell you. We are really sorry, but we didn't plant those pumpkin seeds. And their father said, I know you didn't. And they thought, well, how did you know? Why didn't you say anything? And the daddy said, well, I was waiting for you to come to me and tell me the truth about what you didn't do. He said, I want you to follow me. And so Cody and Karen followed their dad. They walked outside. They went past the cornfield, and then they came down into the lower field. And there they saw it. They saw the old tree stump covered in pumpkin vines. But they weren't good, healthy pumpkin vines like the ones their dad had planted up in the other field. These were kind of skinny and scrawny, and the pumpkin leaves weren't very healthy looking. You see what had happened, they had put it in that little brown lunch sack, and they stuck it there in the tree trunk, and with all that rain and the sunshine, the pumpkin seeds began to grow, and they pushed their way out of the bag, and then they pushed their way up through the old rotten tree stump. And their dad saw what had happened, and he knew what Cody and Karen didn't do. Well, they told their dad the truth, and of course he knew it just by looking at the tree stump. And they apologized, and he forgave them for what they had not done. But it reminded them about that Bible verse. Be sure your sin will find you out. Not planting those seeds and forgetting about them, their daddy knew exactly what they didn't do. He found out. And that's eventually what happens. It's better to go ahead and just tell the truth. And sometimes you might get punished, you might have extra chores, you might not be allowed to go outside, but it really is the best thing to do, is to tell the truth. I know that for myself, or for when Will, my little boy Will, if he'll tell me the truth, it doesn't make me happy, but I can forgive him, and he can learn a lesson from that. And that's the lesson we need to learn from the story about the pumpkin seeds. It's always best to tell the truth. Don't disobey. Do what you're asked to do, because eventually, if you don't, they're going to find out. So That's a good lesson for all of us, even grown-ups. We need to remember to do what we're asked to do. So let's go on to our SN. Sn. That's our sound for today. Sn, sn, S and N. All right, so let's look at our words. Now remember we talked about yesterday and for a long time, and when we had our Zoom lesson, remember I remind you, if there's one vowel in the word, if there's one A, one E, one I, one O, one U, if there's only one vowel in a word, chances are that vowel is going to say its short sound. All right? A, I, A. So let's take a look at our first word. S-N-A-C-K. There's only one vowel in that word, so it's going to say its short sound. A. So S and N. S-N. Sn. It might make your nose sn. Does it make your nose tickle or the roof of your mouth? Sn. A. And now we've learned here another word with CK in it. They both say the K sound. Snack. Snack. What is your favorite snack? If you ask my son Will, his favorite snack is dill pickle potato chips. Ooh, they are sour, but he likes them. My favorite snack is, I like an apple and then I put a little bit of peanut butter on it. That's a good snack. Some of you have shared your favorite snacks with us over the year when you were Student of the Week. Some of you brought in goldfish. Some brought in, let's see, the little juice gummies, the little gummies. What were some other snacks we had? I think we had brownie bites one time. So we had all kinds of different favorite snacks. That's our word, snack, snack. All right, let's look at this one. How many vowels are in this word? S-N-E-A-K. 2 vowels. And where the 2 vowels are next to each other, so what do we say? The second vowel, A, is quiet. E is going to say its long sound, E. And then we have K at the end. So let's put our sounds together. Sn, eek, sneak. Did you ever sneak up on somebody and boom, scare them? Sneak, sneak. All right, now we have 2 E's beside each other, and we also have silent E at the end. All right, so we have sn and long E sound, E. Oh, and there's Z. We haven't had Z. Well, we did Z yesterday. We had the word breeze. This is the word, what is that? Sneeze. Sneeze. So those 2 words rhyme, don't they? Breeze and sneeze. All right. Sneeze. Sneeze. You don't hear, it's not sneezy. That E is silent. You can't hear it. All right. S-N-A-P. 1 vowel, so it's going to say its short sound. A. Sn, a, p. Put it together. Snap. Snap. Have you learned to snap yet? You have to work on it, but you'll get it. Keep practicing. All right. Let's go over here to our next set of words. All right. Let me turn the camera just a little bit so you can see. All right. S-N-I-F-F. How many vowels? 1. So it's going to say its short sound. What does short I say? I. I, like the inchworm. All right, so S-N, sn, and I. Now 2 F's. Remember, when 2 letters are exactly the same and they're beside each other, it makes 1 sound. Sniff. Sniff. After you sneeze, sometimes you what? Sniff. It's not sniff. 1 F sound. Or if you have some flowers blooming, you want to sniff the flowers and find and get to smell them. All right? Uh-oh. 2 vowels, and one is the silent E, that bossy E. My other vowel is A, so it's going to say it's long sound, A. This is a word you don't, I don't like. Snake. Snake, right, wiggling in the grass. Some of my friends have posted on Facebook, they've seen a snake or two in their gardens. Now that the weather's getting a little bit warmer, they're starting to come out. So one showed me there was one in their garden. I thought, all right. So snake, snake. All right. Here is one. O-R, silent E. Snore, snore. Does your daddy snore when he's sleeping? Mr. McGuire does. Sometimes I have to get up and go to another room because it's so loud. It wakes me up. So snore, snore. All right. All right, last one. We don't see much of this in May or June or July or August. And then O-W, O, snow. In this word, the O says it's long sound. Snow. When O and W are next to each other, sometimes it makes the long O sound. Snow. Or like the word blow, when you blow bubbles. That's O-W. So sometimes the letters don't always follow that rule. But most of the time, if there's just one vowel in the word, it's going to say its short sound. So, and you know what, boys and girls? When you go to kindergarten and first grade, you're going to figure that out and you're going to learn. So, but I just wanted to say, we don't see much snow, do we, in the summertime? Not at all. Not at all. All right. But I sure do enjoy it when it does snow, don't you? I do. I really like it. All right. So today was the S-N sound. Sn, sn. So we've learned some more. We've heard yesterday we had BR, br, and then this week SN, sn. All right, I just want to just review for just a minute, not long. See if you remember from yesterday. This is a clock, and if I look at my clock, it says that it is 11:28. So I'm going to make this clock go backwards. So this is the time that my clock says. It's about almost 11:30. Now, do you remember in the morning, it is a.m. It's 11:30 a.m. But pretty soon, when it's lunchtime, and both of these hands are pointing up at the top at 12, it's going to change. It's going to be afternoon. So then it will change to p.m. Now it's going to start getting, as the day goes on, and then when it is supper time, and then it's bath time, and it begins to get dark. This is all at p.m. The afternoon is the p.m. All right, but right now it is 11:30, so it is a.m. We divide the day into two parts, right? a.m. and p.m. So, and again, that's just like some of these other words. You're going to learn a lot of that in kindergarten and first and second grade, and I'm so proud of you. But at least you'll know a little bit whenever you go to school. You say, oh, I remember that. All right, let's talk a little bit about our country that we're talking about, this big, huge island. I know on this map it doesn't look very big, but it is a very big island. And remember what an island is? It's land, but it's surrounded by water. All right, so this big island is Australia. Australia. It would take a long time to get there. You would have to get on an airplane, and it would be a long time on that airplane before you got to Australia, because it is on the other side of the world from where we live. If we had my globe, let me grab my globe real quick. Here we go. So here's our globe. There's the Earth. All right, and here we are in the United States. All right, if we were going to Australia, we would have to fly across the ocean, and there it is, down there. So it's a long way away to get there. Or if we started here in the United States, we could fly this way, but we would have to fly over, there's Africa. That's what we're going to talk about next week. And then there's Australia. So it's far away either way you go. All right, well, I brought a little friend to hop up. Tell us a little bit more about Australia. Do you remember what animal this is? There's our kangaroo, isn't it? All right, and here's his little pouch, and inside his pouch is her baby. And do you remember what baby kangaroos are called? It's a name, really. Joey. Yep, baby kangaroos are called Joey. And there's that big long tail that helps them sit. All right? Because those legs, these legs are so strong and big, he would fall over, but he needs that tail in the back to help him to sit. And there's his little paws there. All right, so kangaroos, that's where you find them in Australia. You might see them in the zoo, but they're not here. They're not native to America. All right, I've got something else that I want to show you. I'm going to show you the picture first, and then I'm going to show you, I had a friend that went to Australia. And so I said, would you please bring me back something? I said, because I want to teach my boys and girls about Australia. So I'm going to show you what he brought me back. But this is a picture of this is called a koala bear. And they look they look so sweet and so cuddly, but they don't get big like a big old grizzly bear. They stay small, but they have very sharp claws, so you have to be careful. And so they're just like any other wild animal. They look sweet and cute, but you still have to be careful of them. All right, so that's a koala bear. So I'm going to show you what a friend brought back for me. I'm going to stand up and show you. This is like a little rug. And it's made out of sheep's wool, and I'm going to show you a picture about that in just a minute. But they made a koala bear into this rug, and so it's very soft, and so I wanted to show that to you. The reason is why it's made from sheep's wool is because they have many, look at this picture of, this is a big herd of sheep. They have many sheep ranches in Australia. And so, as their wool grows on them, and then at a certain time each year, they have sometimes they have a contest who can take that wool off the fastest. They have competitions, and they take care of those sheep, and they get all that wonderful wool off, and then they make it into things. And so that's what this is made out of. It's very soft. So I wanted to show that to you. Another interesting animal is a wombat. That's this one here. He lives in Australia. He's different. He's not really a hedgehog. He's not really a pig. He just is a different kind of animal. So he's a little bit of, I don't know, looks like different animals to me. And then this one, of course, is definitely in Australia. This is called a platypus. I like to say that word, platypus. It's kind of funny. And he's a funny animal. He has a beak or a bill like a duck, but yet He has beautiful fur like a beaver does. He swims in the water. He's able to use his fins or flippers to help him swim. But he's not really a bird like a duck is, and yet he's not. He's a mammal. He's an animal, but he just has that bill that makes him look like a duck, a platypus. So very different kind of animals that live down in Australia. So very interesting. And the only way that we can see those is if we maybe go to a zoo somewhere to see them. They bring them over from Australia to let us see those interesting animals that God made. Well, boys and girls, it's time for me to go, but I will be seeing you soon, hopefully tomorrow on the Zoom. I'll be sending that out to your moms and dads, and we'll get to see each other tomorrow on the computer. So I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Always remember that Jesus loves you, and so do I.